Here we go. Facebook Live is over. We're over to YouTube Live now. So, bit of a test at the moment to see how all this OBS setup actually goes. You can see now I've got a few funky things happening behind me. I've got a new microphone. And yeah, we'll see how this all pans out. Friday afternoon here, Friday evening. Just got back from a brilliant ride. And I will sneak in a shot of the ride in just a few moments. So, I thought I'd just drop in here, have a chat about what's happening this week. If any people have any questions about any of the videos that I've done, the pedals. I think the pedals took up most of my week actually. The Vector 3s, and they were quite interesting. I went out for a ride with them tonight, and they were performing very, very well out on the road. Alrighty, we'll get rid of that there. But speaking of tonight's ride, let me just push up this image just about here. Here's tonight's ride. I'll get out of the road. Long shadows are long. It was a brilliant night here in Ballarat. My Instagram also has, let me see if I can find the Instagram. I should have loaded up a lot more pictures here. I'm still just learning this OBS stuff to do it all on the fly. But there were some fantastic rides out here tonight. Here's the velodrome. Oh, that's going to get chroma keyed. But there's the velodrome here in Ballarat. Beautiful night for it. And if you're on my Instagram, probably Veronica's Instagram as well, there's a great shot of her. We're just chilling around the lake, just riding along normal. Von drops a watt bomb chasing me down. But always a racer is Von. So let me know how the audio is going. Let me know how the visuals are. Let me know if I need to adjust anything. Again, bit of a test stream tonight for these live chats. I'll try and make these a regular thing because I really like the chats and the questions that come along. And yeah, checking in with everyone else. Okay, I've just pulled up the chats here. Oh, by the way, I was having some trouble with some bit rates over on Facebook and Twitch. Again, this is a test of the stream here. My webcam I'm running is a Logitech Brio 4K webcam. It's pretty horrible, actually, to be honest. It's a little bit blurry. Up close, it's nice. Still trying to get the settings of that. Questions coming in already. Hey, oh, awesome. Green screen, yeah, for sure. How cool is green screen? Except when you've got a notepad that is also a green notepad. And then it all gets a bit funky. But yeah, green screen stuff, so we can do a lot of things in the background, including things like awesome pedal shots, maybe another pedal shot. They're really, really nice looking pedals. I'll give them that. Or we can just have London running in the background because that's what I captured today as a bit of a test. I'll get some Lightopia footage as well, so we can it just livens the shot up, and it saves me, to be honest, from painting these walls here in the pain cave, which I still have to do. But the green screen, I might just cover the green screen alone. It is brilliant. It's an Elgato green screen. It's kind of a bit weird for me to cover non-cycling and non-tech stuff, but this solves a problem. It's got hydraulics in the back that just goes up and down. I think I'll have to do a short video on it, because if people want to stream, this is the answer. This is the answer. Like what I was looking for with the power meter pedals, I wanted the answer to the power meter question. Which one to get? The Vectors, they were close. They were almost there. But this green screen, this is the answer. Hands down. Alrighty, over to the questions. What's coming in here? Am I doing the Rafa Festive 500? Absolutely, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Should be some good base Ks. Got an event coming up in early Feb that I need to get fast for, but December for me is big base Ks, lose a few kilos. That's why I've been running a little bit. And January will be some speed work, and February's race day. So Festive 500 will be a big part of that, for sure. How are the Look Keo cleats and the Shimano cleats different? Looking at the Garmin 3, not used Leo Look cleats. I find the Exustar, hang on, I even have the shoes here. Here we go. Here's what we're talking about. The Exustar cleats that come with the Vectors, they're really good. They are actually good. There's no slide-in issues, and they crack right in. So even with the 6 degrees of float, I'm still pretty confident with ripping out sprints in those. I haven't tried the Look Keo official cleats though. I'll see if I can source those. I do have the 0 degree float cleats coming for those pedals, but no problems at all. Yeah, our summer. How good is our summer? Do you want me to put up another shot? The volume is kind of low. Oh, cool. Thank you for the feedback. I shall crank that up a little bit. like that. I don't want it to be too hissy. I haven't got any headphones on. Streaming with headphones is kind of weird. I'd rather just have it until I get people calling in. I need to listen, so I've just upped the mic a little bit there. Alrighty, but yeah, feel free. Any questions, anything that you've seen on the channel this week, anything coming up. We might do another Lama live in the car, going down to Ballarat for the we're in Ballarat, going down to Melbourne for the Super Crit. So I'll get Von involved in the Lama live there. Okay, Fluid 2's under readings by 40% after hour riding. Oh, interesting. So Cyclops Fluid 2 giving me power under reading. So that's Z power. Yeah, those things heat up. Grab yourself a power meter. There's a lot of people try and play around with power estimators. You'd save a lot of time by getting a power meter. I know it's an investment, but that's an easy way to solve the problem there. Thoughts on the Froome dog? What do you say? Look, choose your heroes wisely, change them often. Trust yourself. Who else can you? Who knows? What a complete shambles, though. Really. I was complaining on Twitter. If you saw my Twitter, all we saw the other day is Sagan doing the splits, and I'm like, the internet today is just Sagan teabagging everything. 6 hours later, the Froome news. Anyway, is what it is. I have no influence over that. What would I say? Is it better indoor trainer software, Zwift or Be Cool? Asks Darren J. Let's look at the data on that. Jump on trends.google.com, type in Zwift, and then compare that with Be Cool. There's your answer. Looking purely at the data without any opinion or anything. In addition to that, Zwift is twice as good as Be Cool. Going purely based on the search data over on trends.google.com. Read between the lines there, it's Zwift. Bit of noise in this background sound. Sorry, yeah, I've got my, the machine here is encoding this on the fly and it's humming away a little bit too hard. Drop it back a bit. Okay, cool. Appreciate the feedback. Well, not the feedback coming from the mic, but okay, I'll meet you in the middle. There we go. Rightio. But yeah, beautiful summer day here today. Probably 22, 23 degrees tonight, and we're riding our bikes until 8:15 at night. No lights. Beautiful. It's exactly what this is. Rare days here in Ballarat. Usually Ballarat's pretty cold, but it was super nice to get out. We're trying to dream up a ride. Tour de Burbs in Melbourne is a fantastic little route. Takes about an hour. Super hilly, super hard. Trying to dream up a little Tour de Burbs here in Ballarat. We'll find one. There's a few steep hills around. Just going through the questions here as well. Adelaide TDU. Yeah, we booked our accommodation for Adelaide this week. We'll be over there for the whole week. Adelaide for the Tour Down Under. It should be good. News from the Tour Down Under as well, which we expect to see. Is it Bora Hansgrohe? Did I get that name right? Sagan's team are now sponsored by Wahoo, so they should be running tickers and bolts. Watch for that. I don't think we've seen bolts or any elements in the pro peloton. Cool to see Wahoo get the leg up there. Some pro coverage. The webcam's making my head look elongated. No, that's my genetics. Sorry. I have a weird shaped head. My IO mounts, asked Ben. Ben watched my IO mounts video the other day. Am I still using it? No. Zwift Australia have my IO mounts. They wanted it. I still have the iPad with the little mount on the back, but the stand, Zwift currently have it. They were using it for an event up in Sydney, and I haven't got it back yet. So it's pretty handy, but I'm using the Elite stand as well. I've got a music stand, I've got the Wahoo desk, and I've got that little Elite stand that I covered. I've got, the more the merrier. So I'm using them all at the moment. Hunt wheels are going very, very well. Super impressed. Yep, love them so far. They're going well. I'll update the pinned post on that. I think after the RAF or Festive 500, I'll know more. Big long Ks, I'll try and do a 150 day or a 160, so what, a 100 miler. Okay, Adam asks, Shane, P1 or Vector 3, which one do you prefer more? Well, I've had one for a year and I've had one for 24 hours. I'm not really in a position to choose one or the other. I do like the look of the Vectors. They do look very, very nice. Let me show up a beautiful photo. Look at that. They are nice pedals. I have another glam shot there as well. They're not big beefy things hanging off the side of a bike. They're just nice looking pedals. So look, based on looks, based on weight, yeah, the Vector 3s for sure. Power accuracy, we need more data. All I can report on is what I saw, and what I was seeing is just riding along is fine, indoors, outdoors. The steady state stuff in erg mode. Erg mode is a beast though. Erg mode is weird for a number of reasons. So we have to sort of wait to see. I wanted them to be the answer to the power meter question. They're not quite there yet. And no Bluetooth out of the box. As I mentioned in my video, Ant Plus and Bluetooth connectivity, like they're actually, I don't know if that's legal to sell something on the box, written on the box, that doesn't actually support that at all. And no, like, maybe they should have put a little bit of sheet of paper in there. Please update the firmware for extended function or for full functionality, maybe. Hot tip, Garmin. I'd be not. Yeah. How do I say it politely? I'm not putting stuff on the shelf that isn't actually correct. They've got to get that right. I think it's important to have that message clear and to rely on people like Ray and myself to spread that message whilst we paid retail for these things and found out like a general consumer. That's not how you business. That's not how I would business. That's not how they should business. Who is the Secret Pro? Don't know. Don't really care either, to be honest. The Secret Pro is interesting. You can tell the red herrings they throw in there that are pretty lame, but people read that stuff. Yeah, including me. What's your thought on FTP test with erg mode? No, don't do it. Don't do it because erg mode will puts an artificial limit on what you're actually doing, or a too high a ceiling if you start off too hard in erg mode. Erg mode oscillates as well. It will, let's say you set erg mode to 400 watts, it'll be 410, 380, 390, 415, 410. That's not what you need. FTP test, you need steady state, well, for maximal. Like, you don't need over and unders at a micro level. So no, but that's not to say it doesn't provide good training if you want to test it out. If you, like, let's say your FTP is estimated at, let's go 320. Set erg mode for 320 for 20 minutes and see how you go. And then set it for 325 and see how you go. Now, it mightn't be a pure FTP test, but it'll be a test of your endurance at those levels. So it's, yeah, give or take. The E in grow isn't silent. Growy, Hans Growy, English, not my strong point. When did he go live? I'm not sure. It was, according to Facebook, it was 13 minutes ago. What fans do I use indoors? I've done asks Richard, I used Sunair turbo fans, high velocity turbo fans. I think, it doesn't really matter what brand they are, but they're sort of a little enclosed fan. Search for my video called Indoor Cooling Tips or something like that. I did that over a year ago now. It's buried right down. Just the shape of those fans. They're nice. I've got open air fans with like just a cage around them. They sort of spray air everywhere. The ones with a little enclosure around the fan that shoots air in straight direction, so much better on the bike. Much better. Somebody complained about not having more feminine women hairstyles in Zwift. My thoughts. I'm not qualified to talk about hair. Vectors have more cornering clearance. I guess in theory they do. Ray did a video or maybe a blog post on his bike with was it accelerometer on the phone to how far the bikes don't lean over. There's like not a lot in it. I've planted a pedal. I plant pedals in corners often. Didn't really have a problem with the P1s. So in theory, it might be a little better with the Garmin's. I can recommend is it Asoma? Again, English. I'll get whatever I can get a hold of, I can test. People are asking me to. Actually, somebody asked me today to please run 105 and a single-sided power meter for an entire year, so they could find out what it's like. That's a big investment for me to run 105 and a single-sided power meter for a year. That's not going to happen. But as for checking out power meters, for sure, if I can get a hold of them, getting a hold of them is the hard part or the costly part. I'm $1,500 in the red for these pedals, with my fingers crossed that they're going to bring out a firmware that'll allow Bluetooth. In 7 hours there'll be a Zwift cast ride. I wonder if Shane is in the description of the ride. What? No, I'm not. I'm not part of any of the Zwift Live or Zwift Community Live stuff. I don't live. Yeah, not part of that. We do the most of the reasons being that we're in the opposite side of the world. So at the moment it's nearly 11 o'clock at night here. And in 7 hours I'll be sound asleep. Is Zone 4? I don't know, to be honest. For 15 years of cycling, I really haven't even known my zones. I know my 5-minute power, my 10-minute power, my 20-minute power, and what I can hold for an hour plus. That's it. As for all the finer details about which zone, sometimes we just have to ride. Sounds about right. Disc brakes for carbon wheels, the only way to go. Richard Hutchings, absolutely. I have had horror stories with carbon rim brakes, bombing descents, even in Adelaide, which is short 5-minute descents, are they? 8-minute descents? Scary stuff. Would I do a new review on the Cyclic Fly 12CE? Yes, I would. I'm not going to buy one though. If it's something like the pedals, I'll go buy them myself if I'm going to use them myself. But for something like the Fly 12, which I've already got this camera solution and stuff like that. But I would happily check one out if I can get a hold of one, either a loaner or a media unit or something like that. Sure. I had the Fly 12s early on, like probably 2 years ago when they were in very early beta. I'm familiar with those guys. New camera angle in Zwift is called the drone shot. That's not what you're seeing in the background here is not live. That's just a video that'll be on repeat. I'll get some more videos in a few days. I think it's London of all places, but that's what's live. That was live today, and I couldn't get any other footage with other people riding around. Turning Nick's inside out the second regarding Cycling Maven's latest Instagram story. No idea what that was about. No. Pilgrimage to Adelaide for the TDU or Ultra's not your thing. No, I like riding my bike. After about 3 hours, I do not like riding my bike. 4 hours is pushing it. 5 hours is I want to go home. Yeah, not my thing. Not at the moment. We'll drive our car over to Adelaide and enjoy everything that there is about Adelaide, which is good coffee, good hills, good rides home, and not hating my bike. I think the Rafa 500 is enough for me. Any replacement for the Giant in store? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Love to replace the Giant. We were in Gove Cycles here in Ballarat today, looking at the new... Von's in the cast. Von, we were... what were we looking at? The new S-Works. Really super nice bike. I can't justify anything over $5,000 for a bike. I really can't. I'll buy more power meters though, but for a new bike. My longest ride outside... 250, I think. That's about it. Yeah, probably 250. It's funny, I saw a, you don't need to go long. It's just a fashion thing, I guess, like fashion trend, I guess you'd call it. Everyone was going hardcore into racing crits and time trials were a thing for a while here in Victoria. And then people started doing touring and then people started doing epic Ks. Look, each to their own, that's cool. Not the epic stuff's not for me though. Have I looked at Canyon? Yeah, I've looked at Canyon. Can I justify buying a Canyon? No, absolutely not. Yes, we'll be down at the Supercrit. That's the plan. I think Von's planning on riding down there from Ballarat to Melbourne. We'll be down there. I might just get a little bit of footage down there. I don't do the whole run around vlogger thing. That's not my thing. So I don't expect any interviews or any cameras put in anyone's faces or anything. It's not. But speaking of which, things and products. Tax actually make a heart rate strap. Who would have thought? So I've been checking out the Tax heart rate strap this week. The only difference is, not an ad, just I'm playing around with this because I'm multiple heart rate straps, multiple head units, etc. It's like that's the big difference. And I'm checking it out with Zwift iOS, Apple TV, etc. It's Bluetooth and Ant Plus. That's cool. So I'm not sure whether that's worth a whole video in itself. It might be, but there's other alternatives out there. I like things. We should be chasing you behind the car. Maybe. Vonnie, we're going to do some motor pacing? Supercritters on. Shane will be there. That's Von getting excited that I'll be there. Because Von wants a ride home. I'll be driving the car. What sort of bikes am I looking at? Climbing, aero, endurance, etc. Wheels? Handlebar? Haven't even got to that level yet at all. I'm keen on disc brakes and a wider rimmed. That's why I went the Hunt wheels. We'll see, but look, don't hold your breath for me reviewing any new bikes soon. New S-Works is what, $9,500? That is ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. How difficult is it to reach an FTP of 300? That depends. That's the answer to nearly every question people ask. It depends. I wouldn't set a target. I would just set yourself a baseline and just check your improvements, and then retest. Simple as that. You may never get to 300. You may get to 450. You'll have your own, personal potential, genetic ceiling to reach. And it's about tapping away at that. That may be winning C grade races. It may be winning D grade, and that's as high as you'll ever get. You may be winning A grade. You may be pro. We're all very different. If I add more weight to Zwift to the profile to go slower, am I really cheating? Look, there are so many... I don't think I'm going to talk about it, to be honest. Zwift and cheating and calibration and all that sort of stuff, it's a complete cesspool of discussion there that I've read this week, so let's steer clear of that. I'd simply just say, look, be honest, put in your own weight. That's what the system's there for. And if that doesn't suit your riding, put in a support ticket and ask them to let your tyres down or something. But, yeah. Thoughts on a one-by drivetrain? Pretty cool, because front changing is probably one of the worst things in the world. Yeah, whether it's going to be a thing, unless we get probably 14-speed chains and 14-speed cassettes up the back, whether there's enough ratio there for it to be on road bikes, I don't know. Perfectly fine for cross and other things. Be interesting. Bianchi, Colnago, Pinarello, and why? No experience with any of them. I ride a second-hand Giant TCR from 2013. Really not qualified to talk about high-end bikes. I've seen Rao cut them up, but like the hair thing on Zwift, doesn't really matter, does it? Once you're looking up the road, you don't even know what bike you're on. What else is happening this week? The shoe cam. People are asking about that and the pedals. That was a bit of fun. And people on my Insta are speculating how I actually did the shoe cam. Oh, by the way, I'll wrap this up in a few minutes as well. I won't go any more than a half an hour. Shoe cam. Somebody picked it. It was simple. GoPro Hero Session 5 with stabilization. Turned on because you can't get to the button with what I'm going to do. Bottom of the shoe, sticky tape. Simple as that. And that's all it really was. And I had to make sure that the way I put the shoe on was out the front here, and I didn't stand on the camera and crush it. I did have a safety harness on it. So I wrapped a bit of wire around the shoe wire and here, just in case the sticky tape did come off and it went flying around. That's shoe cam. Way too easy. I'm surprised no one's done that before. But we can get really creative with showing different angles of the bike and how things work. One thing that fascinated me with that is that when you look at a bike sideways, you see the crank spinning and the pedals spinning and everything moving really, really quick. With that, the pedal was static and everything else was moving around it. So you sort of got a bit of insight onto the bearings and the loads and the stresses. Very cool stuff. I had to risk probably losing or breaking the camera, but it was worth it. That was great. Any overseas trips planned? No. The overseas trip was planned for the US this week. Didn't take place. Have I seen a Cannondale slate in the flesh? I don't know. I don't know. What is a Cannondale slate? Jack's getting a Vortex. Rock and roll. Upgrading from a Vortex to a Dorito. Aha, arrives tomorrow. Rock and roll. Make sure you've got a cassette tool, lock ring tool to get the cassette on, or have it pre-installed. What do I think about the 3T Explorer bike going to be riding the Pro Peloton? I'm revealing all my cracks here in my armor. I really don't know much about bikes, to be honest. Like the 3T, I have no idea what a 3T Explorer is. Is that the one with the weird crank? Chainstay drop that could become a road bike and a cross bike and etc. I'm interested in the technology that goes on the bikes and in the bikes, but the bikes themselves, they're much of a muchness. As I said, 2013 Giant TCR, doing the job for me. Eurobike 2018, yeah, that's the plan. We'll see. Oh, lefty suspension fork, no, get out of town. No, not a fan of the one forky thing. Have I ever been to the UK before, or do you ever plan to? Yeah, I was over there 10 years ago. I was over there at the start of the year, or was it April? There's a few videos, and look up CVR London. We're over there for that. We did a few videos. I did the London course that's on Zwift, which you see here. I rode the extension in real life in London. Was it a few days before the actual real extension came out? Local bike shop announced, Lee says, local bike shop announced that they're shutting their doors. What's my take on the state of bike shops in Australia? I don't deal with retail a lot. I drop in and visit them. We dropped into one of the local cycle stores here today. They just, it depends. A few of them have complained about online shopping, etc. The consumer will always choose the cheapest option. They need to just update and make sure that they adopt and adapt to the new changing world of people buying things online, and just go from there. There's no farriers on street corners anymore shoeing horses, so the motor mechanics are becoming less and less, I guess, with everything being automated, so things just change. So yeah, again, I'm not in retail. I've never worked in retail. Aha! Fabian asks about trying the Tax Neo with route simulation via FEC. Specifically with the Wahoo Bolt. Yes, I did try it with the Wahoo Bolt when they first brought out workout mode. I did training control over FEC with the Bolt to the Neo. Yes, I'm getting all my terminology correct there, I think. That worked fine. Okay, but he says it doesn't work with the Neo. Does not work. Okay, stay tuned. Stay tuned on that one. I'll be using the 520, not the Bolt, because I've shown the Bolt. I'll use the 520 on the Tax Neo in a day or so. We'll redo the Ballarat Nationals course and see how that goes. I'm assuming it works because we're told it works, but I'd like to see it. Tax Magnum preview soon. Zach Rogers. Zach, I've done a video on the Magnum earlier in the year when I was over in the UK. I dropped over to Tax HQ and rode the Magnum. It wasn't much of a full review, but it was what it was like to ride. Can you ride it out of the saddle? What's the maximum wattage? I think I got up to 400 watts. People are saying with the Tax Magnum, if you're not aware of the Tax Magnum, it's the treadmill that you ride your bike on and you can run on. It's a massive unit. Just been released in Belgium and possibly the Netherlands, I think, with certification there. Big unit, very expensive, but hey, so are Ferraris, and some people can afford Ferraris. So there's a market. It has a limit of 30 kilometers per hour belt speed, but not 30 kilometers per hour like Zwift speed. Zwift speed is based on your power. I was doing 400 watts on that unit. If you can sustain, or 450, I think, if you can do 450 watts sustained, hats off. I can't for very long, so it's fine. But ripping out a massive sprint on it's not going to happen. You'll just fly like on rollers. You just fly off the thing. But look, I don't expect to be getting one. I can't even source myself a Watt Bike Atom at the moment, so getting anything to Australia bigger than a box the size of a trainer is not happening. What have we got here? Goldfields Classic. Would I ever ride it? Was that? No, I've heard of it. Was that the one where you race the train on a mountain bike? Not sure. On the matter of one bike, there's a World Tour team using it next year. Well, I hope they have a massively long rear derailleur cage, because they're going to need a half decent. And so what do they do on a big, like a flat stage, a tailwind section of the Tour de France when everyone's ripping out at like 60k an hour? You don't want to be spinning out. Obviously, they've taken that into account, but that's what I'm thinking about, just having only the one front chainring. Disc brake bike. Am I looking at the usual, or obviously not climbing or aero one? Haven't even got into picking out a specific bike, and as soon as I do, I'll probably cringe at the price. So it's all just early, very early stages at the moment. Jan states that he has P1 pedals single-sided, tends to read about 10% lower than my Neo. Do I think that's because they're single-sided? Look, I've heard every excuse under the sun about why 2 power meters won't match. Off the top of my head, it was left-right leg discrepancy. Power meter X is no good, usually said by a company who makes power meter Y. The latest one was if you've got a power meter that's left side only and it doubles the power, you don't get twice the power. True story. I couldn't wrap my head around that. They were saying that if you have a single leg power meter, you'll still get higher readings with double leg power meter. I think I'm talking to the media people rather than the engineers. I'll send some more emails about that one. Have I tried one lap? No, I haven't tried one lap. I've seen it. Not too keen on installing it without having a sandbox, to be honest, though. Australia's richest handicap race, the Goldfields Classic. Okay. Shoe cam made me feel sick. Me too. Me too. That's why I put it up on Instagram and Facebook. James gone with the Vector 3. Awesome. Yeah, a few people misinterpreted my Vector 3. It's sort of hard presenting something that, like I said, look, here's where it goes wrong for me, for my data. My little people are like, they're a complete waste of time. What the horrible? No, they're not. I rode them tonight. They were fine outside. They were really, really good. Profit Mate stuck between choosing a Neo and the Drivo. Which should I buy? Your call, mate. Your call. The biggest difference there, I guess, would be the sound. If you need absolute silence or the most silence possible, the Neo's the way to go there. Your call. Suresh is... Oh, Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's up next week, isn't it? I hope everyone's having a good one. Planning on getting the Wahoo Bolt over the Garmin. Thoughts? Well, the Garmin, there's a few different Garmins. It depends. That's my answer for everything these days. It really depends what functionality you want, ease of use. Do you want... do you want the mapping on the head unit itself? Do you want to be able to sync up to Dropbox with your files? Yeah. Whoa! Crossroads has just dropped $50 in the super chat. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. That's phenomenal. $50. Thank you for the comprehensive information delivered on the channel. Everyone that begins cycling as a sport pastime and wants no BS should come here, and I appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. That will go towards something else I'll cover on the channel. So much appreciated. Merry Christmas. What's my advice on the issue with the Tax Flux and a long cage Shimano 105? The only advice is they're incompatible. I don't think there's any solution for that. That's just simply a physical design limitation of the unit itself. I'm not sure why that was skipped over. A lot of the smart trainers are focused purely around road bikes, and traditionally road bikes have the short cage rear derailleurs. So it might just be an overlook. Yeah, there's not much you can do with that. Element to Element Bolt for Christmas, asks Igor. I have both just here. So if anyone's not familiar with both, says me hunting for the other one. One moment, here we go. They are both one and the same. They really are. Here's both of them now. I have everything on my shelf just here. Functionality wise, so compatibility wise, exactly the same. The only difference, and I believe the internals are even the same, just a little smaller. The only difference you see between these two is you have a maximum of 9 fields on the screen at any one time here, and a maximum of 11 on here. So if you're a complete data junkie, that's probably the bigger one. Funnily enough, I've had this one for a while. After using this a lot, I don't mind going back to that with the bigger screen either. So I use them both. That does look a lot sleeker, the bolts. But the more I use them, the more I learn them. Yeah, they've been fine. The mapping stuff was interesting to find out the cues and how it works with the mapping. Once I got my head around that and used it a few times, it's been good. I've been using, what have I been? Komoot. Komoot's been good. Andrew Williams is in negative 16 degrees Celsius at the moment. Andrew, I feel, mate, when it gets to 16 itself, 16 positive degrees Celsius, I'm still cold. So negative 16, I cannot fathom. Yeah, there we go. Listen to Veronica. Get yourself over to Tour Down Under. 30 degrees Celsius average all week, except for those 42 degree days, Von. They're brilliant. I love a hot day. Okay, while we're here, if anyone's on the stream tuning in, I do apologize for anybody in America who's missing this. US is my biggest viewership, and it's the middle of the night over there. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm going to leave that up on the screen way up here, which will cut my arm off. Bump that number up. I'm really pushing towards 40,000. That number there is the subscribers. It indicates the growth of the channel, that things are going well, that the information I'm putting out there is received well, and people are gravitating towards it, learning from it, and enjoying it. And it's all about the subs. So the views help. The views are great. But as long as that growth keeps going up. So I'm pushing towards 40,000. That should be mid next month. And hopefully I can bring some great content between now and then. If you're not subscribed, hit that number and it will bump up in real time. So while we're here, let's have a look at tonight's ride. Again, I'm going to have to put this up because it is so nice. Here's Von. Long shadows tonight. So anybody freezing cold, just put your hands out near the screen there and feel the warmth. That was a beautiful ride tonight. Long shadows along. And I was cranking out a few more, I guess, data points for these pedals. But to be honest, they are, and that's what I said in the video about the pedals, they don't look like a scientific device. They look super nice. Right in here, that's the battery component. So you put a, I can't virtually do that on the screen, there we go, in there. I think it's a 2mm hex wrench. And the batteries just pop out in a little compartment. Didn't bother about showing those. Ray's covered the battery compartment over on his stuff, which I'll link to on my video back in London. I'll get some Watopia footage in the coming days. Okay, I was going to do some data analysis live here, but it's kind of hard grabbing multiple screens and things, so I'm keeping it simple for now. 7 AM on the East Coast. Ah, okay, cool. I was looking at the West Coast. 10 degrees. Power meter tip for mountain bike? I'd probably steer clear of the pedal ones for the mountain bikes. I think Stages and 4i. Did 4i do a mountain bike one? I think they do. Power beat. Coming soon. I've been running this for almost 4 weeks now. I'm getting a lot of data from this thing. I believe these guys do a more rugged version for mountain bikes. So check that out. Cheap as well. Look at Ray's articles, look at Ray's reviews, etc. How hot does it get in Melbourne and Adelaide in January? Flying over from Portugal, I feel like I need a few days to get used to it. Yeah, for sure. It can get up to, I think the hottest we've had is probably 44 degrees, 45. Actually, it's been 46 or 47 in Melbourne. That's very, very rare. Adelaide, it depends. It can be raining and 17, or it can be, super hot, 42, 43. It's not too humid. It's a bit of a dry heat. I think that's what throws people around a little bit. But there's plenty of drink stops and good coffee. Yeah, check out Powerbeat. Again, raise reviews on those. As always, jump on some forums. I'll have a Powerbeat review out for my stuff. I've been riding around with it, but just a heads up, it's been not too bad for the price. I've done the recalibration of the thing, but I need to throw it up against a few more power meters. Never enough hours in the day. There really isn't. Any plans on the Shimano Dura-Ace power meter? Yeah, sure, but I won't be going and buying one. $2,000. I could spend more money than I have on just power meters and talking about them. It's not going to happen. If I can get a hold of a demo unit or a media unit or something like that, yep, but not on the cards for now. I don't think anyone's got. I haven't heard a lot of talk about them either. That's about it, I think. Dry fry. Von's in the comments. So far away, I'll go for another 5 minutes, guys. So far away, any questions, drop them below in the comment section. I really appreciate it. I love the on-the-fly questions. Left field. You see that's really me. I'm not putting on a show. Garmin 1030. Dan, ask Von. Von is looking at buying one. But for me, $600 plus. Yeah, just to review. They won't. It doesn't solve a problem for me, so I'm not looking at getting one yet. How far is Von away right now? 10 meters in the other room. Yeah, $2,000. Look, technically it's the higher end of power meters price range, but yeah, look. The Vector 3s I really, really wanted to check out, so that's why I went and bought them. Things that I don't really like. The Pioneer, I don't think does anything different. It really doesn't. Sorry, the Shimano Dura-Ace power meter. It looks nice, but it's not a game changer in any way. Is it technically possible to work with only one power pedal? The low work, the left flank. Ask Lewis. Sorry, I'm just mumbling my words here. The power pedals all come with a one-sided version anyway. There's a P1S's and there's the Vector V3S's. So you get a smart pedal for one side and a dead pedal on the other, just a standard pedal. But using them singularly, I'm not sure out of the double kit. You can't sort of grab a kit of two and then just use one on one bike and one on the other and have that. Doesn't work like that. There's a master pedal on both. If Von gets a 1030, will I review? For sure. But I think we should get Von to review it. Yeah, I can have a look at the stats and things like that. Again, Raymaker has covered it all. Full menus, full in depth. So if you don't hang out for me for any tech, raise the place to check it out. No leads on the missing sheep tonight. I don't think, if people are following along my Instagram feed here, in Ballarat there's someone stealing some sheep. And we go on sheep patrol, which is what I call our rides, because most of our rides just cover paddocks of sheep everywhere. And sheep were being stolen, so we went out tonight for a ride. We saw 0 sheep. It's yeah, they're all missing. We were riding in town though. But hey, people in Ballarat have sheep. Should I get a 105 power meter? There's no such thing as a 105 power meter. Shimano, I think, would be bringing out that. It'd be called the Dura-Ace power meter. That'd be it. Sort of like that'd be top of the range. There won't be any 105s. I wouldn't think for at least another 2 years or so from those guys. Bring out the premium first. Wait for everyone to buy that who's going to buy one. Then trickle down from there. I think we saw the same with Di2, didn't we? That was Dura-Ace for a while, and then Ultegra came out once everyone had taken that up. Is the twin power flicked? Notice the Ultegra crank back on the Giant. Yeah, it's in a box on the shelf. It'll be pulled out for other tests and things, but it's not compatible with the Watt Team Power Beat. Potentially the 4i I'm trying to get a hold of. And I've got an X-Caddy. Well, the guy from Alibaba said he was sending me one. They are the dirt cheap 4i knockoff power meters that I was keen to have a look at. So with those coming up, I'm back onto the Ultegra cranks. Am I coming to Belgium sometime to watch a race? We get them on television here. It's great coverage, full HD, just like being there. Free the sheep. Yeah, look, we'll see what we can find. We'll have to go for some more sheep Patrols, which is kind of funny. We live near Bo Peep. Again, it's an Instagram thing. Follow along on Instagram. Anyone, I've got the subs up there. If anyone subs, who hasn't subbed already to the channel, that number will tick up if you click on subscribe. 4 iron stages have 105 power meters. Yeah, but they're not official Shimano power meters, so it's not technically a 105 branded. Oh, well, it is a 105 model. I'm keen to check out the 4i. What did I say? Oh, by the way, here's something called the vectors that I didn't actually talk about. Again, we can deep dive in a million different ways with the vectors. They have a scaling on the pedals. So if you find the pedals are reading too high or too low, or you do have a left-right imbalance that's throwing things out, or your numbers are a bit weird, you can actually scale the pedals percent-wise. That's kind of cool. Doesn't address the problem that I saw, though, which was they were fine for everything except that little erg mode test that I was doing. The 4i's do have a scaler. Super cool. So if you find it's drifted a little, maybe it's taken a knock or something like that, you can adjust it. That's super awesome. I'm into that. Do you think we'll see DI 105 DI2 2008? I don't think we'll see 105 DI2. I don't. I think Ultegra is probably the lowest they want to go with that because they've got to make it. I find it funny with Durace Ultegra 105. Durace, they design everything perfectly. They make great products. Ultegra, they're like, oh, okay, how do we make it a bit worse? 105, how do we make it a bit worse? They've actually got to set backwards a little bit or just use a little bit inferior. They're not any less strong or reliable. You know what I'm saying? They make them a little heavier and a little worse. Would they want to do that with DI2? Ultegra's fine. Do I go to the Melbourne GP in March? No. We used to be able to hear it though, but they changed the engines in the F1 cars. We still live in the country to go for mad rides. Our rides here are brilliant. They are so nice. Just big. As a time trialist, a bit of a soloist, I've just big open road, go. Absolutely love it. Will there be more bikes available in Zwift? I hope so. We haven't seen a lot of new bikes lately, have we? They did the Diamondback, what I called the barn gate, or the barn door bike, the Diamondback TT rig that was absolutely hideous. I think that's the latest bike we've seen in Zwift. Maybe, but I don't look at bikes too much in Zwift. I'd rather them work on the experience, drafting, more gamification, courses. Maybe let's have a half-hour stage race. Imagine that. So you load in Zwift, you've got let's say 4 stages, and it just takes you through it like Mario Kart. So first of all, you've got a 5-minute time trial or a 5K time trial. You just do the time trial, and then after everyone does the time trial, then you put in a gate for a bunch race, a scratch race. And then based on the results of all that, there's a handicap race at the end where people are set off at different times. And then it's like rabbit in the hare, tortoise in the hare. They could do so much with that. So give me that over, I'd love to see that development over new bikes or new hairstyles or just change the experience for everyone. And just liven it up. Do I ever just pair your Bluetooth sensors via the Wahoo iOS app, Sans Elements? You can. You can. The bolt itself or the element, it's pretty handy for pairing anything. You just hit go. It says hold the device next to the sensor. You don't really have to hold it next to it. And then you just hit more. And it'll just show up your list of things that it's found. Works quite well. Live near a city, getting pretty sick of the traffic lights. I'm keen for my smart trainer. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people do that. A lot of people, especially time trialists, triathletes, Ironman, you want 2 hours in the zone. No interruptions, no lights. Just whack some headphones on and go. Trainer's where it's at, whether it's a smart trainer, dumb trainer. But just get the environment set up. So a lot of the stuff that I've covered previously has been good fans. The desks to hold things, towels. Just get your environment set up, good tunes, and away you go. Simon Mills, wears cleats out. Any tips on making them last longer other than not walking? Yeah, okay. Here's one that comes to mind. It depends. I'm assuming you're not walking on gravel or anything like that. If you're finding you're wearing them out based on foot movement, find out what's happening with your foot. You see a lot of people will pedal and their foot will move at the top and they'll grind cleats away. That's just all bad. Shoe cam. I should have painted that, shouldn't I? Throw a shoe cam on and see what's happening with your feet. See if it's something you're doing on the pedals themselves while you're riding, or just don't wear your bike shoes around walking. Kick a climb, or will I wait for Neo's counter? We haven't heard much from anyone else. The kick a climb has been announced, like a lot of things from Eurobike, announced 6 months later. We're still waiting. I still class the Vector 3s as we're still waiting because they don't do Bluetooth yet. Don't know. I don't know what. I think Tax are focused on their smart. We've seen the smart bike, so they may be working on that instead. Don't know. Zwift on Mario Kart tracks. Now we're talking. Do I have an opinion on the Favero Asuma? Okay, my opinion is, why the hell would you call a power meter that? That's the first thing. As I haven't clipped into a set, so no idea. Jump over to DC Rainmaker's reviews and the comment section of Ray's stuff as well, which is brilliant. But a lot of people are using Ray's analysis tool to review things, to compare data. So you'll have Ray's full in-depth analysis and Ray's take on things. But in the comment section, there's also equally enough gold there to knock yourself out with. It's really good. I use those quite a lot. I mean, Ray's a reference point for me nearly every day. What's my cycling goals for 2018? To finish 2017 first, and then we'll go on to 2018. February, I've got is it the Horsham Triathlon? Got to be in shape for that. We're going to see Slane anytime soon. You'll have to ask Slane that. He hasn't been to Ballarat yet. He hasn't come up. I've been inviting him. Did they do a giveaway of a Diamondback bike on Zwift? Don't know. There was some sort of 40k TT you could do on the Diamondback bike for a while. Sorry, I'm going way over time here. I will not go past the hour, though. I will not take up any more of your time than that. So fire away with questions if you've got them just quick. I get sucked into these live streams. I enjoy the communication, though. I enjoy the questions. And there's a lot of familiar faces here, too, who I appreciate chipping in. By Vector... I'd love to be able to say Vector 3s are the answer to everything. They're not yet. Let's wait for the next firmware. I can't test them with Zwift on Apple TV. Like that's crazy. Coming soon. I'll do a whole video when the firmware comes out. I'll do a video on that. How they connect to Zwift. What happens when you stop pedaling? Do you come to a halt? Everything. Response time. The whole works. We'll go through that. Good question about Wahoo. With the experience Wahoo has gained from building smart tuners, do you think they'll come out with their own power meter pedals? I'd love to see Wahoo make a power meter for sure. The way they measure power though, or they do power in the Kicker 17, Kicker 16, I don't have a Gen 1 next to me at the moment, it's in the shed. They can't use the same, the original Kicker Gen 1s had strain gauges. Don't know. I mean, they're brilliant engineers at Wahoo, and they solve problems. Love to see them make a power meter, for sure. Absolutely. It'd make sense. But, yeah, where would you put it? Pedals are a good place to put a power meter, I think. Well, they can get knocked around, but you're not changing bottom brackets, spiders, as I've mentioned in my video this week. Am I going for the full Horsham Tri? No, I'll just do the bike leg for the Horsham Tri. Look, if my running improves, I might join my sister for the run as a pacer, if I'm allowed to. Just the bikes, though. Just the bikes. Will rowing be popular in Zwift? Good question. I'd love Zwift to become a virtual fitness destination of everything. Even Wii Bowling, who knows? They've got an arcade there in Zwift at the moment. Not sure. I'm not across virtual rowing at all, or indoor rowing. What do I think of the Polar V650? No experience with one. Polar, back 10 years ago, were eaten a bit. They're just not... The numbers when pulling out of Strava, Polar just don't compete. They really don't. Not in the markets that I'm looking at anyway. So they're not on my radar. Andy's about to jump on Zwift. Right on, mate. I'll see how many people are on. Definitely not going past the 60 minutes. Promise. But I will jump on for an if people like these chats, I'll jump on for a Friday night chat when I can. I do like catching up with everyone. There's 1,869 people on Zwift right now. Andy, I'm looking, mate. I think I'll be scrolling for a while before I find you. So if I can see you on there, I'll give you a right on. I'm not allowed to as per ITU rules. Okay, what about just a bit of a backyard triathlon? Bullwhip. How are we? Volume is low. Sorry, I don't want to play with too many settings. How's that? I've just tweaked it just a tiny bit. If I actually talk close to the mic, it's probably going to be better. Alrighty. And for those who missed it, here's my glam shots of the pedals. I didn't use that as the thumbnail though. I should have used that one though. There's our ride tonight. I don't mean to rub it in too much, but give me that over that any day. I'll get some more some footage in the background here to play, but this is going to help me out. That's a green screen that I've just got today. It's an Elgato green screen, which is just solves the problem, so I'm happy. Alrighty, okay. 4 minutes, and we'll call it a night. It's 11:20 here of an evening. Do I like any picture tagged on #Zwift? Absolutely, I do. I love a good Insta shot. If you're tagging Zwift, I'll give it a like. Don't worry about that. Can I explain how Bluetooth TV 4K Zwift mobile app combo? Asks Music Guru. Okay. The limitation of Apple TV has 3 Bluetooth devices direct to the Apple TV itself. One of those is the remote, so you've got 2 devices only. If you have Zwift Mobile Link, you can connect Bluetooth devices such as, well, here we go, the Tax Heart Rate Strap, which is Bluetooth. You can connect that via Zwift Mobile Link, so Bluetooth from here to here. That sends over IP if it's connected to your Apple TV, so you can get around the device limitations. It can get a bit tricky though. That's why this technology needs to be a lot easier. So this is why I make videos explaining how it all works so people can understand, but even then it's still quite complex to get set up. So using the Zwift Mobile Link, you can add additional devices to your Apple TV experience. You should overlay my Lama rides videos. I could overlay any videos in the background here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting creative with that. Did you want me to overlay the pedal cam? I think we'll all throw up if I overlay the pedal cam. Callum Taylor messages in, out of band, saying, I'm up pretty late. Callum, it's well past your bedtime, mate. But anyway, I'll get creative. Oh, the counter's gone up as well. So I'm trying to hit 40,000 subs. That'd be a nice little hurdle to get over. Am I still using the original Alienware PCs? I am. And the recording here is done on the Alienware with the Afterburner overclock. So I get a few more frames, a little bit more smoothness, a little bit more unreliability, but they've been fine. Callum's at Nan's. Good stuff. It's Christmas. I have to buy the kids Christmas presents. Callum, let us know what you want for Christmas, mate. We'll go shopping tomorrow. I can buy you a virtual bike. But all right, I'll wrap this up in 1 minute and 15 seconds because I don't really want to go over the 60-minute mark. But I hope you're all well. If you're in the colder environments, I hope you're getting a good sessions or good rides done indoors, keeping that fitness up. Nana's now watching. Go to everyone on channel. Zwift on Xbox One, just quickly, no, it won't happen. Xbox One, it'd be a brilliant platform for it to be on. Same with PlayStation, they're designed for 3D games and simplicity. Not going to happen. Commercial / licensing / engine compatibility, etc. We won't see it, unfortunately. The GPUs in the Alienwares, I think, are GTX 860Ms. Don't quote me on that. They're not that beefy, but they do a pretty good job. Yes, we'll be at TDU, Tour Down Under, for the entire week. See us there. We'll be walking around, riding around. Yeah, there's tons of events on that I'll be involved in as well. So I think Tax are going to be there. We'll be hanging out with those guys. There'll be Wahoo there nearly every year. Zwift are there. Who else is there? Everyone. It's going to be awesome. So, yep, TDU, Tour Down Under. If you're not in Australia, book some tickets. Great time of year to be over. 5 seconds to go. I won't run too far over time. Rock and roll. Now the spam comments come. I wish I could stay and we could talk to the spammers, but we won't. We'll leave it there. Thanks for dropping by. Again, hit the subs. That gives you an indication of when I've put new content up. I've got a list of videos coming up this long between now and Christmas, so I'm flat out getting those done. Tons of stuff to do. Comments always appreciated. Feedback is always appreciated as well. Any ideas, people throwing things left field at me to check out, I'm all for it. So it's content that I hope everyone enjoys. And whilst those subs keep going up, the views keep going up, and the feedback is good, I'll keep at it. So have a good evening, everybody, or a good day if you're in the UK, or a good morning in the US. We shall see you soon. Maybe for another Lama Live. We've got to get Von involved. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon.